Tony Gallatin, and this is my lovely co-host,
Shirley Tyler.
and welcome to the Tony Talk Show. Today's topic is taking care of your elderly parent. How about that? It's a topic that's very dear to my heart. I was fortunate enough to be able to take care of my mom in her senior years. And it's been nothing but a joy. It is the most rewarding thing I've ever done, and it's the most challenging thing I've ever done. Because it does come with challenges. But each challenge that we have in life helps us to grow. And when you're fortunate enough to have an opportunity to take care of your aging parent, it also gives you an opportunity to heal. It gives that parent an opportunity to heal. And it's what God has charged us to do. And I dare you not obey God and take care of that parent that brought you into this world and was there for you in every aspect of your life in order to bring you to where you are today, if things were done in proper order.
Yes, I can really expound on that because I think about my grandmother. My grandmother was like my mom, my mother, and my grandmother. You know what I mean? She was there for me since the day I was born. You know, if it was not for her, I don't know if I would be sitting here today. You know, so yeah.
It is truly a blessing to have an opportunity to do that. I know that I've traveled a lot, and most people that know me, I've traveled quite a bit. And some of the countries that I've gone to, I noticed that they put their seniors on a pedestal. They almost worship their seniors, almost as if they're gods, because they appreciate the fact that this individual has been with them, they've reared them, and they've taught them so much. And like I said, you know, when you lose a senior in your life, you're losing your history. You're losing your history. And I was in Hong Kong. I know that's a bad word here lately during this pandemic. But I was in Hong Kong way before the pandemic. I didn't bring it here. And I noticed that, first of all, they live in very meager accommodations. They're not people that need a lot of space. As you see this little studio we're in right now, that's probably a size of a one-bedroom there. Okay, so, but the grandpa lived with his daughter and her 3 children and the husband in a very tiny apartment where he slept on the couch, a little let-out couch. It was by way of the kitchen, by way of the bathroom, and their bedrooms were simply bedrooms. You walk in and you are right on the bed. Everything went up. But their emphasis is not put on materialistic things. It's put on family values and how they can assist each other in being the best that they can be. They take care of their elderly and they worship them. And I noticed that the older the people were, they were more vital. They had more energy. It was more life in them. And the grandpa was like 90 years old. This guy, we were walking to the restaurant to get something for brunch, and he was out walking us. The man was 90. And so when you help to assist, to take care and love and cherish your elderly, it gives them more energy. It gives them more vitality. It gives them a reason to live. But in the United States, we tend to discard and act as if the older they are, the less important they are. And that's just so backwards to me because I was not raised that way. I was raised by my mom to make sure that I give her what it is she needs and completely honor and respect her.
So as you were talking, I was thinking about my grandmother again, that, you know, she kind of took care of us in her older age. It was 4 of us, but 3 of us was mainly with her all the time. And, you know, being young, you really don't understand how important it is to really love on your parent as they get older, and you know, how can I say, do everything that you can to show them that you know you appreciate them and being your parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they do need that. As you mentioned earlier, looking at my grandmother, you know, she had her little ways or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But she was the bone to our family. She was that foundation. You understand what I mean? She was that pillar to the family. Sometimes she may ask you to do something, and you know when you're young, we got our little attitudes, I want to say little stank on us or whatever, don't want to do it or whatever. Well, grandma, you know, or mom, you know, but I have to reflect back and think about, you know, grandmother was there. My grandmother, like I said, she was my mom, my grandmother. She was everything. She was the pillar, you know what I mean? So if she needed something, I needed to be there to do it. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? If she was going through something, I needed to be there with her. You know what I mean? And show her, mom, grandma, you got me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I love everything that you have done for me, all the sacrifices that you know she has made for me and my siblings. So yeah, it's very, very important to love, you know, your parents when you know they get older. You know?
Yes, and not discard them. I was fortunate enough to work. When I was on the road, I decided that I would go and volunteer on the days that I was home, because I was traveling 4 days out of the week and I would have 3 days off. And I just felt like I was making all this money, jet setting all over the world, and I needed to, I've always had the heart to give back.
Right.
So having, being a licensed cosmetologist, I decided, well, I'll go and volunteer at the nursing home and do their hair to give back in some way. I was very young at the time, but I always felt like I needed to do something worthy to help someone else. And I enjoyed, you know, having conversations with these elderly people. I learned a lot about them, and the key thing was acknowledging them, asking them about themselves. What did they contribute to society? They're more, so much more than just an old person sitting in a wheelchair or in a bed that can't move around anymore. These were our leaders in the past. They were doctors, lawyers, mothers, nurses, teachers, chemists, all of these different engineers.
Yes.
And now they've reduced, society has allowed them to be reduced down to just an old person in a nursing home. The way their faces would light up when I asked them what they did, or what was their favorite thing that they cooked, and they would just light up and come to life. And I felt like if that's all I could do, I was willing to do that. And then when I was fortunate enough to have, you know, my mom still be with me, and she's older, and she was definitely a humdinger in her day. But as time goes on, they become softer.
Right.
They become softer and more humble and more, you know, they're dependent upon you to take care of them. And I always told my mom, I said, Mom, you know, you could never, you're not nursing home material. Because I'd have to come up there, you would get into it with one of the aides and try to beat up on them, and then they beat up on you, and then I got to come beat up on them, and we're all going to be in jail. I said, so I have to take care of you when you get older. And she said, yeah, you better. And but one thing I found, that if you just let them be, have as much independence as they can. As they can. If they're still able to see well enough to write out a check, let them write their checks out for their bills. I remember I was counseling a young lady, and her mother was getting older, and she had dementia to a degree, okay, because she was still sane when she wanted to be sane. Well, they basically stripped her of everything and took her check, her retirement check that she got every month, and paid all her bills with a check and issued it out to the mom. Well, the mom's only complaint was, you don't let me handle my own money. And the daughter would constantly say, well, you know, I bought you groceries. I paid this, I paid that. I took care of this, I took care of that. Yes, you did it, but you did it with her money. And I'm like, you can just simply if you're going to the grocery store, why not take her with you?
Right.
She's not going to run wild. You're right there with her. She's not a flight risk.
Right.
So take her with you.
Right.
Give her the money that you're going to buy the groceries with and let her pay the teller.
Right.
That is a small thing, but it makes her feel worthy and makes her feel like she's actually handling a portion of her own business.
That is so true. So
And the more we keep them as independent as we can, let them do those small things. Continue to do a lot of small things. Write out their checks. Pay their, you assist them. Help them with it if they need you, but let them do as many things as possible and keep them as normal as you can. And that will help preserve them, and that will help them from being so resentful and angry.
Exactly. And to piggyback off of that as well, I think about when my grandmother was getting older, there are, certain things they can't do anymore, you know what I mean? They're not, they don't function as much as, as they used to. And I remember I used to just sit down and comb her hair for her. She would love that. And, sitting there to have good conversations, we would laugh and everything, because sometimes you do see a little sadness in their eyes. They feel like that they're alone, you know what I mean? But when they have a child or a grandchild that really love them and really care about, of all the things that they have done and the sacrifices, as I said earlier, that they have done for them, we should, make the sacrifice to show our elderly, that you need me now, you know what I mean? And I want to do everything that I can to make you happy, to, make you feel comfortable, make you feel loved, and that you're not alone, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because getting older, it's not easy, It's not easy at all. And God's willing, I don't know how long. Exactly.
If we're blessed, we'll get older.
Right. And you got to really take a step back and say, I'm going to get there. You know what I mean? And how would I want to be treated?
Exactly.
How would I want to be treated by my loved one? You know what I mean? By my loved one that I love so much and so dearly, and that, I have, bent over backwards for, you know what I mean? So,
exactly. And another thing it's very important to me to point out is that sometimes seniors can get really bad-mouthed, okay?
Yeah.
They can say the most awful things to you. And the reason why they get so bad in their mouth and try to be so offensive and so mean sometimes is because they don't walk the way they used to walk. They don't talk the way they used to talk. They can't hold down a job. They sometimes can't even clean their own self up. They can't do a lot of things that it just takes to be independent individual. So sometimes all they have left is their mouth. So they try to control the situation with their mouth. They'll say the meanest things to you, the person that is closest to them,
Right.
because they know that they can't get away with it anywhere else.
Right.
And they feel like, okay, I'm angry, I'm disappointed, I'm lonely, I'm just not the person I used to be.
Right.
And I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah.
So I am going to express myself in an angry manner, and you're going to get it. You're going to be the target of my misplaced emotion and anger because you're here and I can do it. I'm angry and I need to express myself because I can't do anything else about it.
Wow.
So I just want you all to understand that that's all they have is a weapon anymore. They can't slap your face. They can't knock you down. They can't do anything. All they can do is talk ugly. I remember when my dad was very, very ill and on his way to glory. I remember him telling my mom, well, yeah, we're going to go. My mom said, well, I need to go in the bank with you and make sure everything is taken care of, because if something happens to you, like you're in the hospital and things need to be taken care of, I need to have my name on the account or whatever so that I can take care of the business. And he looked at her so mean and said, you don't have any type of work history. What can you do? And it was just that he knew he was unable to do a lot of things himself, and he wanted her to continue to look up to him and honor him as her husband, and not look at him as if he was feeble and on his way out of here.
Wow.
So he lashed out at her verbally. But for all of you all out there that may experience that, just know that don't take it personal. It's just their way of expressing themselves because they're so angry about being in a situation that they're in. And that's why we have to do as much as we can to make them comfortable, and never fall short of the fact that they're on the end of their life and you're still kind of in the midst of yours.
Right.
If things go in the order that God normally plans it, older people die first. And know that if you're dealing with an elderly parent, if you're fortunate enough to still have your parent around, give it all you got, baby. Give it all you got, because the alternative is them leaving here. And you don't want them to leave here and they could go in any time. And you don't want them to leave and you've had a big upheaval with them where you weren't patient with them and you spoke ill to them or yelled at them and treated them bad because they were doing things that were a little bit out of order. They don't mean anything by it. Some of them they're not even in their right state of mind. And they just are acting out. They always say once an adult and twice a child. Well, yeah, it can get to the point of they almost turn back into a baby, and dealing with a lot of issues where they have to be assisted in every way, and it's our job. If that's our parent, we have been charged with the responsibility by God to take care of them. And even if you feel that they weren't the best parent in the world when you were coming up, that was when you were coming up. You're a grown person now. You can't go looking back and saying, well, they didn't treat me right, so I'm not going to treat them right. If the opportunity presents itself for you to take care of them, you ought to give it your best shot. And you do it with a happy heart. And you will be nothing but blessed because of it.
Will.
It doesn't matter what they did. You survived it. You're still here. And look at things in reverse now. Now you have an opportunity to make it right. There's nothing they can do to you now. They're not even in a position physically or in any way emotionally to do anything wrong to you. But you do right by them and watch those days. But the rest of your life becomes so fulfilled with joy and happiness and peace and patience. To do what God has charged us to do and be obedient in that, regardless of what the past happened in the past, you will be rewarded.
Yes, you will.
And there's a lot of people out there that, their parents did right by them. And they even chose to walk away from them. But that's on them. We have to be responsible for our parents and not dump them into a nursing home or a place like that, and then they get abused or just not treated the way that they deserve to be treated. Because these individuals in these places don't have loyalty to them.
They do not.
They don't have love for them. There are some that are amazing care workers. They're amazing care workers, but then there are some that's not. And if your parent decides to pinch or slap or spit or hit them, it's only two ways to go there.
Exactly. It's true.
Put them to sleep or put them to sleep.
Exactly. That is so true. I've worked in nursing homes.
Put them down or put them down, So you don't want anybody putting them down. Put them to sleep.
That's definitely going to be an issue
Yeah,
there.
and then sometimes they dope them up.
Yeah.
Or beat them up. So you want to make sure if you can take care of your parent, do it. Do the best you can. Get assistance. Bring people into the household that that you can put monitors in your home to keep an eye on them when you're gone. Because they can be a challenge. Some of them can be a challenge, and some of them are just the most wonderful, sweetest, kindest individuals that there is. And we want to make the rest of their life the best life.
That's where patience comes in.
Yes.
That we have to have patience because, once again, we have to look at ourselves. If God allow us to live all our days out and we get to that age, we will want someone to love on us,
Yes.
and be patient with us, and treat us right, and show us so much love and so much compassion. You know what I mean? And as you said earlier, Tony, it keeps them alive
It
even
does.
more, you know, because they have that support around them. You know what I mean? That genuine support, you know. So just as a person and as a people and as an individual, really, you know, step back and take a look at this, you know, that, you know, one day you're going to be a senior citizen.
Yeah, and you know, I was telling you that funny story about my little nephew is like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom and my stepfather was much older than my mother. And so he started to get sick, you know, much
Yeah.
before she did. So I lived in a duplex. And so it was carpet on the stairs. So my mom and dad was visiting, and they were in my room. And I guess my dad asked for an apple or something for my mom to come downstairs and get him an apple. So the stairs are kind of slippery. You hit the stair on the wrong angle. Everybody knows you will slide down. So my mom was coming downstairs to get him an apple, and she slid and fell down the stairs, the last few stairs. So she was just yelling like, he shouldn't have never told me to come down here and get that doggone apple. He get on my doggone nerves. He always wants something. I said, so my little 4-year-old nephew, which they were keeping, my little nephew said, Grandma, well, why don't we say this? What if you was a sick old lady and Grandpa was a well old man? How would you feel then? And she then responded, shut up, little boy, before I whoop you. But just like Shirley was saying, how do you want to be treated when you get older? Plant those seeds, man. Plant those seeds, and they will grow into something that will be beneficial for you. God would take care of you if you take care of his. And you wouldn't want anyone treating you mean and nasty when you get older. So let's plant the seeds and get it started, you know? And out of the mouth of babes, he told her, how would you like it? What if you traded places with him? What if you were a sick old lady and he was a well-old man? Would you be, you want to do that? Okay. Basically, he was like, well, you need to stop it because you could be him and he can be you. So, you know, let's just cherish our elderly. And even if you are a healthcare worker, you know, do it with a good heart. Do it because you have the heart for the job, the heart for the people, and be good at it. We need you.
Yes.
We need you. All of the individuals that have parents, that have you come into their homes, we really need someone that's not on their phone, smoking cigarettes outside, just letting the elderly person just kind of sit there. A friend of mine had a care worker to come into her home, and so she had monitors everywhere so she could see everything that the girl was doing. She just would like have mom over there just sitting, no interaction, nothing. She's on her phone texting, just whatever, like waiting for the time is it? I'll be out of here in a minute. Okay, I think I'll change her to pen before I leave, but not now. You know, so have the heart for it. If you're going to be in that business, have the heart for it, and just exercise a lot of patience with these seniors and treat them the way that they should be treated. Honor them, respect them, love them.
Yes, because
cherish them and be thankful you have one in your life.
Because there is a blessing in that, you know what I mean? I have a few young family members that work in healthcare facilities.
Yes.
And one of my nieces, well, two of my nieces, they take care of, you know, the elderly, you know, and they get a joy out of it, you know what I mean? And I've heard stories where they said, you know, Auntie, I'm going to just think of a name, Miss Goldberg, you know, she loved to see me coming, you know what I mean? Because, you know what, she spent time, she sat there, she talked to her, you know what I mean? She may comb her hair, you know what I mean? Or sing a song or something to her, you know what I mean? And don't know how long she'll be there, but when she move on, she would have planted that seed and left an imprint, you know what I mean?
Yes, and
because
leading by
every
example
person
to the other people.
right, because you know, everybody is not nice.
No.
It's some mean stuff that goes on in the nursing home. You know what I mean? Some crazy, just mean, vicious
Yes,
things that
so
happen.
I say have the heart to do the job right, or don't do the job. You know, save them from that mess. But there are some amazing. I've worked in several
Okay.
senior homes, and I know that there are some there that are just truly kind and amazing, and really take care of these individuals the way that they should be taken care of, as if they were their own grandparents.
Exactly.
And we are thankful for them. But most of all, if you can do it yourself, do it. Take care of your own seniors. Don't cast them aside. Don't push them away. Be there for them. Keep them as happy as you can. Be excited when you see them. Be excited when you go around them. Ask them about their life. Have a conversation with them. Let them, again, recapping, take care of as many things as they can on their own. If they can still write a check, let them write their checks.
Exactly.
If they can still go shopping with you, let them pay for their groceries.
Yeah.
Just let them do as much as you can concerning their life. And try to keep a smile on your face while you're around them, and a joyful heart, and take care of them with everything you got in you. And just God bless you in that journey, and know that you did what God charged you to do, in spite of whatever you think.
Well, you pretty much done summed it up. So, yeah.
Okay.
You know, love on your seniors.
Yes.
Love on them, because remember, one day you're going to become a senior, and you know not trying to go scripture, but I'm going to go there.
Go there.
The Bible says that whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he reap.
Yes.
And that is very true. You know, people also use karma and something. I really don't get too much in that, but I kind of go a little bit more scripture side.
Well, how
scripture.
about, what is it? Raise a child, and raise up a child
in the way he should go, and if he depart from it, he will return back to it. You know what I mean? So,
and honor thy parents, and thy days will be long.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Don't mess around and no passing away before your elderly parent.
Which is a lot of them.
But people do, things happen, but if all things go in order, in the natural order of things, your parent will leave first. And I want you to just give them everything you got as far as love and peace and patience, and make their last days here joyous, filled with love. And love will return to you. And God bless you, and thank you so much for listening to us again today. And you guys are all amazing.
Yes, you are.
Keep loving, keep living. Thank you. This is the Tony Talk Show.